Okay, so the final video I'm going to make tonight, and you can expect more down the road for working on this over the break if you'd like. I'm going to show you how to make a graph to go into this document. I had some trouble getting it set up because sometimes spreadsheets are like that. And it turned out to be one little button that I had to press in order to make everything work. So if you're working on a spreadsheet and you feel like it's working against you, it might be. But you really only need to change one button and it could fix everything. So anyway, what you graph is going to be up to you. Perhaps it makes the most sense for you to graph the homes powered, right? Maybe this is the biggest piece of information for you. Maybe you want to sell them on the money, that's a difference of what, like $8 million or something. That I like $8 million. That would change my mind. So it's really up to you what information you think is going to be the best, what information you plan on defending your decision with, all sorts of things. If the number of turbines you need is the thing that you want to base your decision on, then by all means use that. I really can't stress it enough. Maybe the efficiency factor is something you want to graph. It's up to you. For this example, I'm going to graph the number of homes powered, but you can use the same thing I'm going to show you to build graphs for any information that you want to build. So I start with the insert button at the top and I choose chart. Now, because I have those three spots highlighted already, it automatically tries to make a graph. It's not going to do it the way I want it, but it's going to try. So the other thing that could happen is that you try to do it from a blank place and you get this. You just start nowhere and you insert a chart and it just says no data. That's fine. Let it do it with no data. You can do it on your own. It's not that hard. It opens up a chart editor on the right-hand side, and I have setup and I have customize. Customize will let me change the appearance of the graph. Setup will let me change like the structure of it. So if you click chart type, you can come down and pick what you want. We commonly call these bar graphs, but a bar graph actually runs horizontally across the page. We want to do the first one, the column, and then I'm going to choose a data range. This button right here will let me select a data range rather than putting it in. And I'm going to select this range right here, E9 through G9. And then I'm going to hit OK. And look, it gives me three nice colors of bars. And I spent a long time trying to figure out why I couldn't get this to work. Is because there's a couple of buttons missing. I couldn't add any labels to this graph, and it took me a couple of minutes to figure it out. The problem is that I need to press a couple buttons down here. I want to use switch rows and columns. And as long as that is selected, it's going to give me the graph the way I want it. If you look, maybe 160 for the first column, 163. That could be 187 for the second one. And then over here, 212 was my final answer. It's always a good idea to take a look at your graph and your data and make sure they match up. And all of these should be the same color because we're comparing the same information. When you have multiple colors, it's because you're comparing all the blue pieces and all the orange pieces and all the red pieces. I only have one thing to compare, and that's the number of homes powered. So I want to make sure that I use all one series, all one color bar. And so I switch the rows and columns here. I also want to add in an x-axis because the x-axis is the axis under here. It's going to put labels on here for me. So I click on where it says add x-axis, and I'm going to select this button to select a data range. And then I'm going to select these three boxes here and hit OK. And look at that, plains, hills, and offshore. It automatically labels it for me. Now, the meat and bones of my graph is done. From here on out, it's just customizing it to make it look nice. So I click on the customize side of my chart editor, and I can just go through the list and start to change things. The chart border color. Maybe I want to make the border color black and the background color. People like to put background colors on. Try to choose something muted. Don't do a bright color. That's offensive to the eyes. I can make it 3D if I want. I don't know what compare mode is. Maximize. Whoa, I don't like that. I like to have my borders. Chart and axes titles. I want to make sure that I use these to put titles on it. My vertical axes is very important. What do these numbers mean? And so I'm just going to write in here, houses powered. If there's units, make sure you put units in. In the case of houses powered, I don't really have any units, so that's good. It saves me a step. Oops, I clicked out of the grid chart editor. If I double click on this graph, it'll open the chart editor back up for me. I want to, whoops, vertical, where is it? Chart and axes titles. I want to put a title on the whole thing, and I'm going to call it, let's call it turbine location, or we'll say, how about homes powered based on turbine location. The title should not be clever. It should be informative of what the graph is about. I don't want to look at your title and wonder what this is about. And then you can continue to go on through here and you can check out series, and maybe I want to add labels, or, you know, maybe I want to go to the legend. I could put a legend in there somewhere. You know, whatever you want to do, go through these experiments, see what they do, and make a nice graph. If I go to the Windmill, now you wouldn't put it in this spreadsheet or in this PowerPoint, but when you get to your PowerPoint and you want to add a graph, you can just do insert chart from sheets. From there, it'll open up all your recently opened spreadsheets, and you want to pick the one you were working on. The nice pictures help. I'm going to pick this chart, and I'm going to import it. And then it'll put it in here, and I can shrink it down. Now, the beauty of this is that it's still linked. So if I go back over here to here, I can change things about this. I hate that blue color in the background. I'm not going to lie. I don't like it at all. Chart style, background color, clear white or none. That's not right. I was wrong. I do need a background color. We want white. So there we go. I've got the background color fixed. I come over here and I click on this link button, and here we go. It's right there. Update. I can update it, and it'll automatically fix it. So any changes I make to it in the spreadsheet will get played out over here. You might make 2 or 3 graphs depending on how great you want your thing to look and how much you want to show off. But at least 1 graph and 1 table. I'm going to close it out for tonight because it's very late and I've added enough information for you. But keep watching. I'll update more resources and readings and things you can use as we move through this slideshow and we get to you making your sales pitch of where you think this will go best. How do people feel about wind turbines in their backyard? What are some of the effects on people from having a wind turbine? What are the effects on the environment from having a wind turbine in the area? And I'll get some readings that we can, and some videos, and you can use those as evidence. What I really want to see you do is use evidence to back up your claims. So when you make a conclusion, you have a reason why you chose that. Have a good night, and I'll see you in the next video.